Hello and welcome to day 4 of the Kunnin Orruk vlog journey to Atlantic City Open in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So I missed a couple days of uploading videos and I do want to provide some context as to why. My main goal with this is more for accountability and not YouTube content. I'm really not trying to spend more than about an hour, maybe 90 minutes on creating these videos at a time. And I especially don't want these videos to get in the way of actually completing my goal of getting an army built in time for the Atlantic City Open. While I will make sure that I'm recording as much content as I can for B-roll footage to keep record of what I'm doing during the hobbying and build process, I may not upload videos daily. I will try my best to make sure I recap, though, everything that has happened up until this point. In my last video upload, I was able to get 2 models primed and ready to get some color on them. My goal was to assemble some models of Orruks that were coming in, possibly some Grots, and get some base colors on Wazgob. I really have to readjust my expectations when it comes to this. The time it is taking me to make sure that I'm accounting for all the mold lines and imperfections in manufacturing, as well as extracting the models from the sprues themselves, and my own clumsiness, it's taken a lot longer than I anticipated. For context, the Savage Orruks are a kit I'm super familiar with, and I, in the past, have not been the most attentive modeler when it comes to watching out for imperfections and sanding things down. This took me about 6 hours yesterday in order to get about 16 Orruks built. The models look great, I'm really happy with them, and it's definitely the most professional assemblage I've done. And the actual assembly process was made easier by doing this sanding and this initial attention to detail, as well as parting out and organizing the bits ahead of time. But it was definitely a little tricky. You can see that I went with the Savage Stickas configuration for the unit of Savage Orruks. The reason why I did that is, from a meta perspective, I'm running Icebone as a sub-faction, and my Legion's abilities play very well into the ability the sub-faction gets. When wounding or rolling a wound roll on 6s, the sequence will stop and the opponent can no longer make any intentional saves, or nothing can happen after that wound is successful on a 6 on the face of the dice. So I'm really trying to maximize the number of opportunities for that to happen. Since the Savage Orruks are on a 32mm base, a 1-inch range for a weapon is really tricky, and in most scenarios, I'm only going to get about 1 Orruk in per base contact to attack. The Savage Stickas have a 2-inch range, so that will potentially give me the opportunity to get about 2 ranks worth of Savage Orruks to attack the target or the unit that they're going into base-to-base contact with. Since the Savage Sticka and the Champa have the same number of attacks, they're pretty equal there. And really, the Champa only gets a benefit on the 2 wound portion. Since neither of the weapons have rend, and again, my focus is more on fishing out additional opportunities to roll a 6 in the wound phase of the attack sequence, the Stickas are an obvious choice. So I'm pretty excited with how they currently look. I have a boss within the unit that clearly is a boss and is looking pretty proud. And I'm excited to get them on bases. I'm going to put them on a temporary base so I can get them painted, but I'll be eventually transferring them to something a little bit fancier. That's going to be 3D resin printed. And I need to put an order in for that in a couple of weeks or so to make sure they get here in time. Overall, I'm really trying to make sure that I'm adjusting my expectations and being fair with myself. The assembly process took way more time than I anticipated, so I'm going to start budgeting out about 6 to 8 hours to build an entire unit, or at least an entire box, depending on the kit that I'm looking at. The next box I have up are 20 Grots, which I've never assembled before, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that assembly process works out. Another note, make sure you're being super careful with removing mold lines and removing blemishes on the model. I unfortunately hurt myself pretty badly with an X-Acto knife and saw it coming. So if you're ever in that situation where you feel like you're about to do something stupid, stop. Give yourself a break, because you're probably about to do something stupid. This has been the Kunnin Orruk, day 4. I look forward to updating you guys tomorrow with my progress that I made today. And we will continue on with this journey over to the Atlantic City Open. Thanks.